Good evening. This is the Walpole Conservation Commission meeting of February 26th in person. And the first hearing is a combination of land disturbance permit, notice of intent for property at off 215 Winter Street. So, this is the land disturbance permit, in accordance with Walpole Stormwater Management Bylaw. It's hereby given the intent of Marco Gioso Jr. to construct an access driveway and two single-family houses with utilities and grading equaling over 40,000 square feet of disturbance located at Winter Estates subdivision near 215 Winter Street, Walpole, Mass. Map 55, Lot 5. The application and plans may be viewed at Conservation Commission office or www.walpole-ma.gov Conservation Commission. Public hearing on the above matter will be held Walpole Town Hall, 135 School Street, December 11th, 2024, beginning 7:05 p.m. All interested persons request to be present. Hearing has been opened and continued. This is the notice of intent. In accordance with Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40, the Wetlands Protection Act, Walpole Wetlands Protection Bylaw, notice hereby given intent of Marco Gioso Jr. to construct a 16-foot access driveway for two single-family residential lots, underground utilities, grading, and stormwater management system within a 100-foot buffer zone of wetland resource area located off Winter Street, Walpole, Mass. Map 55, Lot 5. Application and plans may be viewed at Conservation Commission office or at www.walpole-ma.gov/Conservation Commission. Public hearing in the above matter will be held Walpole Town Hall, 135 School Street, October 23, 2024, 7:15 p.m. All interested persons request to be present. Hearing has been opened and continued. And this is the notice of intent in accordance with Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40, the Wetlands Protection Act, Walpole Wetlands Protection Bylaw. Notice hereby given the intent of Marco Gioso Jr. to construct single-family houses with driveways, utilities, and grading on Lot 1 and Lot 2, Winter Estates, near 215 Winter Street, Map 55, Lot 5. Activity proposes to fill 1,996 square feet of wetlands on Lot 1 and 1,368 square feet of wetlands on Lot 2 and work within the 100-foot buffer zone. Application for each lot and plans may be viewed at Conservation Commission office or at www.walpole-ma.gov Conservation Commission. Public hearing on the above matter will be held in person at Walpole Town Hall, 135 School Street, December 11th, 2024, 7:10 p.m. and 7:15 p.m. All interested persons request to be present. Hearing's been opened and continued. We don't have anything else to add to the record? Okay. Representing the applicant?
Mr. Chairman, my name is John Glossa, Glossa Engineering, 46 East Street in East Walpole. So the plan I have here is just a colored up version of the plan that would be approved by the planning board. So normally you would see a roadway 26 feet wide with a sidewalk on one side and a cul-de-sac at the end of the roadway, but we've gone in front of the planning board and explained that in lieu of trying to get 4 lots here, or even 5 lots would fit here by zoning, we asked them if we could simply do 2 buildable lots, and in lieu of that, they would give us some relief from strict compliance of the construction part of their regulations. And so what we're showing is, and I know the application said 16 feet because that's what a common driveway is in Walpole, but the fire department asked us to make this 20 feet. So there's a 20-foot road that'll go in. It's within a 46-foot right-of-way with the cul-de-sac property line at the end, but it's simply a 20-foot wide road that goes in. At the bottom of this proposed street is a couple of storm scepter type catch basins that will lead to a manhole and then go into this above-ground detention basin. Even in the 100-year storm, this detention basin only fills up a few inches. I think it's like 6 or 7 inches. Because the soils here are sandy, so as this is filling up, a lot of the water is draining out of the bottom of this basin. And, you know, that's about it. There's some berm that's going to bring the water to the catch basins on each side, and then they're sloping down. So there's no sidewalk. It's just sloping down to the edge of the 46-foot right-of-way. And so the other part of this is there are utilities that are going to be installed in here. There's going to be sewer. It's going to be 1.5 inches force main. Each one of these houses, which you'll see in a second, will be a pumped sewer because they're well below the street. And then it just pumps up to a manhole, which will be here. There's already a stub brought in from Winter Street into this property. And the same with water. There'll be an 8-inch water main that'll be in this street. And then there are 2 hydrants that'll be off of the water main. And we talked about the drainage, but there'll also be gas and then underground electric, telephone, cable TV. Everything's underground on this project. So, and then as far as the lots themselves, so here's the roadway we were just looking at. So to the left, the longer driveway. Now again, these are going to be 20 feet wide because that's what the fire department insisted on. We are going to sort of not at the absolute, you have to do this type of thing from the fire department, but they did recommend, just for circulation, that we sort of put a turnaround at the ends of these driveways so they're near the houses. They essentially have the same radius as you, or pretty close, that you would have for a street cul-de-sac. But, you know, even if the fire department wasn't sort of asking for this, you know, this would be done anyway. I mean, my house is sort of set up like this. I have a long driveway. I have a 1,200-foot driveway, and my house is set up. It might not be as big as this, but you need some way to kind of get around to get out when you have a long driveway like this. The interesting, or what you might be interested in, is right here. There's some wetland, so there's some wetland alteration here. I think it's about 2,200 square feet right in here. It's the very top of this wetland that ends right here at the lot line, or actually might even come off of the lot a little bit into the abutter's property. And again, so this would, as far as water, there's a hydrant here, and then there'd be a water service up to the house. There would be what we call an Environment 1 grinder pump to pump the sewage along and then up to the manhole here. As far as the drainage, and we've talked about this, but we've put drainage trenches all the way along the low side, let's call it, of the driveway, so that we are balancing the rate and volume of runoff between the existing condition and the proposed condition. And that's required by your stormwater management regulation. So we did a full, you know, HydroCAD analysis. It includes the whole watershed, which actually even includes these lots here, to the wetlands. So that's lot 1. So lot 2, it's a little bit shorter driveway, but again, we still have the turnaround here, side entry garage, house here, and again, sewer would be pumped up to here. Water comes from about here, then the main will turn into a service line. And the drainage, again, we have all the way along, quote-unquote, low side of the property will be infiltration trenches to let all of the water go back into the grounds so that neither the rate nor volume for all storms up to a 100-year storm will increase. There's about 950, a little less than 1,000 square feet of wetlands right here that is altered as part of this Lot 2 development. But both lots have replication areas right near the alteration area. So I think that's about it. I think Landis might have a few comments for you, but you know, whatever needs to be done, you know, we intend to do it to get this approved.
Do you want to go over the new replication plan that you provided us?
The plantings,
Yeah?
I don't know. I think we just added the plantings, added more plantings, right? Do you want me to? I don't really get involved so much with the actual details of this stuff.
You what?
With the actual details, other than telling the draftsman to put the plantings on in accordance with what the conservation agent recommended, so. So that would, you know, that would be, unless you want me to start counting the, I think there's a.
No, it's just,
What page
it's
is
a
it on?
different sheet than, that you didn't have before, so I thought
Yeah,
you
so
might
we
wanna-
did, well, we added a fourth sheet because there was a lot, that we added just a sheet devoted to construction period. So there is a blow-up of the replication area that shows all the plantings. I mean, before it was sort of shown on this size, which really wasn't,
Here's the other one.
I don't think was adequate. I had asked, not the board, I had asked my guy a few times to just blow it up. There it is.
So the one thing I'm
Here's the other
going
one.
over it today, I was just curious, the grades of the replication area, how far are they estimating?
Well, it's being cut down and then it's level with the wetland area. I mean, there isn't a lot of difference in this area between the upland and the wetlands as far as the elevation goes.
So can you go to sheet 4? We're on sheet 4.
I don't have sheet 4 colored up, but I have sheet 4 with me.
Sheet 4 of the lot 1 plan.
Yeah, and lot 2.
One or two.
So this is sheet 4 of lot 1. Which is sort of the construction period plan, and it shows the replication here in the clean stuff that we planted within the replication area itself. They're kind of, they kind of dropped out because, they kind of, it's kind of a complicated plan, so we're trying to drop out some of the stuff, but it does show the elevation being
So what's, it says, so number 3, replication area says excavate to a minimum depth of 6 to 8 inches below the final design elevations. So your inset doesn't really have any elevations. It has the 200. And then it looks like it's situated somewhere between the 198 and the 200. So the guy's going out there, what are the elevations of what he's digging? It says he's going 6 to 8 inches below the final design elevation. What is that? What's the final design elevation?
Well, it should be 198, because that's where the wetlands are.
Okay, well, that wasn't clear to me, so, as,
You can add 190, you can add.
yeah, I guess you should add that. So if the final elevation is 198, then they need to excavate 6 to 8 inches below that, and then supplement those soils with the organic soils.
Right, you want them to take it down to the elevation of the abutting wetland, which essentially, if you look at it, it's following 198.
So it's gonna go 198 all the way to the 200 elevation? Or is it gonna grade, a gradual grade up to that? Or how is it gonna meet
No,
the
it should be-
200?
No, it should be flat, 198, right across. Right, because if you look at the wetland flags, they're all at the 198. A couple of them might be a little higher, maybe 199, but if you look at the contour in the wetland flags, they're essentially following the 198 contour. So that's what the replication area should be.
Okay, so it'll go 198 and then it'll go up to the 200.
Yeah, it is, it's sloping up to where the driveway is and where the infiltration basins are, so it'll be sloping up.
Okay, I guess they need a little more detail on that, 'cause
Yeah, you should have.
how it's gonna blend in.
The contour was pretty easy because it's right here, so it just needs to follow the bottom of this and then tie into the 198. Rocket ship science, but not for you guys, I mean, for him.
Well, the guy out in the dozer, I don't know.
No, he doesn't know unless
He
it's
needs
on here.
directions, or she, usually the way, yeah.
Okay, anything else?
Yeah, so then the no alteration bounds, should be the one that's kind of in line with wetlands flag 22. I think I sent you these, John, in an email. So it should be moved up, I would say at least to the limit of work line. Because you have the bounds still sitting on the 25-foot no alteration area before there's a replication.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So if you move it up to the limit of work, the one that's in line with wetlands flag 22,
Yeah.
and then the one in line with wetlands flag 20, again, I would just move up to the limit of work, erosion control. And then I would put a third one at the, where the 3 erosion controls meet in the corner, near the,
Uphill,
the-
wetland flag 19.
yeah. I would put another one there.
Yeah, so we can put those all the way up to the edge of the infiltration basin, so they'd be sticking up a little bit right behind it, because that should be essentially the limit of. There's no reason to go beyond that.
Right, okay, that's fine. It's just, they did need to be moved up. The other ones are fine, they're along the 25, but those, and add another one near the wall. The other items in my report under these, the subdivision filing, I just suggested we do. Those are the only, no, there was one more plan change that had to do with the replication areas, that in the replication area notes, it says to excavates the material at the alteration areas and stockpile it for the replication areas. I don't think I would do that, because it seemed like there was invasives and kind of junky vegetation out there in the areas that were chosen for crossings, more so for the lot 2.
So,
But I think those soil, they at least should be evaluated prior to stockpiling them and putting them in the replication area. If they have invasives and stuff like that, we don't want in the replication area. Rather have clean soils in the replication area.
yeah, I understand, there are a lot of invasives.
There
out
are,
so-
yeah.
Okay.
I think that was,
We can, I'll put a note that we'll engage, you know, a competent expert to evaluate the area before they excavate it and
yeah, that's number 1 of the replication area, to use those soils. And then 3, it calls out the 25 to 30% organics for, you know, to bring in to use for replication areas, and clean leaf matter. I think that's all good, but I just not sure if I would use the excavated material.
no, that, you're right, because there's a lot of stuff up there that you probably just want
Get rid of, or it's in for foundations, or I don't know, but don't put it in
to.
replication area.
Yeah.
And then again, just for a condition, that I was just recommending that a updated phasing plan be submitted with dates at the pre-construction meeting, and this would go in the order if the commission wants it, with the beginning of the project, meeting installation of erosion control, clearing, stump grub grading, wetlands alteration, wetlands replication, and house construction.
Yeah, I would definitely, for this project, say that myself and you and the contractor need to meet and go over, and very specific how they're gonna handle
Yeah,
this,
yeah.
this
And
work,
we
and
usually-
make sure that they understand the work also.
Right, we usually have a pre-construction meeting for, you know, projects, bigger projects like this. But if, also just to have a schedule with dates, I mean, I know they can change, but just get some idea of how things are gonna progress from the road to the house construction.
So you want me, that would be like on an 8.5 by 11, or do you want me to put something on the plan?
No, it can just be a chart or something, just a schedule.
Okay, well, I can meet with the geos and see if they can put some, I'll sort of rough something up, and then they can put some dates and time.
I mean, with any project like this, I think we wanna see it progress,
Right,
not like stop for long periods of time, unless it's really buttoned up well.
right.
Anything else?
No, none of this time.
Okay. Bailey?
I'm good. We'll just did a great job.
Doug?
One question, on the pumped sewers, should the sewer pump fail, will each homeowner have an alarm system to let them know that there's, okay.
Yeah, it's, you know, these are package deals, so that all of that.
It's standard, yeah, okay, that was it.
Medio?
John, the walls that are noted on the driveways, are those are concrete?
So there's 2 types of walls. Ones that are 4 feet or less are just gonna be what's called an Allen block wall. So an Allen block wall is about 1 foot wide and sort of goes up, you know, and leans sort of.
Yeah.
But the other ones are what we call stone strong, or what's, you know, called stone strong. So they're 44 inches wide, so they're like this huge, and 40 or 48 inches long. So they're this huge block, but they're not all that heavy. What they do is they place them down, and then they're filled with crushed stone. So once they're in place, they're very heavy. And those can go up to, I believe, 13 feet. After 13 feet, you simply put the geogrid. So we do have a couple of places that obviously are here are more than 4 feet. But we showed a stone-strong wall where it was more than 4 feet, and then an alum block wall.
Okay.
If you want to see a demonstration of that, right at the corner of Washington Street and 27, right, where they just built that new, it's gonna be a business with, and then you'll see on the, if you're standing there, it's like on the right side, they have the stone-strong blocks, the big blocks, and then across the front, they have the alum block in place. So, but it's not that unusual, it's just that we don't, you know, if you're just going 4 feet, you don't use the stone-strong, because you just don't need something that big.
Okay.
So, but there are places in here where you'll see those stone-strong blocks.
I'm familiar with that. It's a white, yeah,
It kind
yeah.
of looks like a rock or something, it has the little bumps on it.
Right. So the front has that kind of wall, and then on the sides, they have the bigger, is that?
Yeah, at 27.
Right.
Yeah, on the side, they have that bigger block.
Okay.
And you can, obviously, you can see the difference, and while they were building, you could even see the difference in the size of the 2 blocks. So we're gonna have something similar
Okay.
like that here.
Okay.
You know, and as you know, Gioso's, this is, you know, their contract, a big contract.
Right.
So this is their business, they know how to put these things together. put it
Okay.
together correctly.
All right. That's all I've got.
Al?
I don't have any questions.
Betsy?
No, no comment.
Okay, so when each driveway comes together, you now have a common sewer line?
Yes, right, well, I think each one will pump up to the,
Looks like at the intersection of the driveways, at the cul-de-sac, that they then become just one line. So,
you know, that'll sort of be up to the town engineer. There's 2 ways to do it. One is just to connect them together, which would be at this point here. The
Yeah.
other one is just to run them separately and then let them go into the manhole here. I think it's gonna be like timing and how it sort of works out.
well, just whose responsibility for what?
It's all private, so. It's all
It would
private.
seem that it would be-
So they probably will be 2 lines, so.
I would think that would be a better approach, so that each one is responsible for their own line,
Yeah,
and you don't have,
yeah. The cost is negligible, just.
yeah, once you're doing that, you, some extra pipe, but I think that would be, just looking at the future, they're related now, but who knows who's gonna live there 20 years from now. So I think it would be reasonable to have separate sewer lines.
So I am meeting with the town engineer next week to go over the private developments for both documents, right? To make sure that what we're saying, that there's no contest in years from now, who owns what, and who's responsible.
Yeah.
But you're right, the easiest way to do that is just to have them as separate pipes until they get up to here where they're.
Yeah, it goes
essentially
into the,
gravity pipe that's
right.
probably be, that would be part of the town's responsibility. Because it's gonna be in the industry.
yeah, but just to get there, I think it'll be better if they're separate. Yeah, and we have plaques along here.
Yeah, we have-
Yeah, okay, we got them all.
When you're done, you didn't put the plaques at the toe of the basin? Looks like there was trees there.
Where are we on this side?
Those were on the plan at one time.
Looking at lot two, we got plaques here.
Don't see anything on
The plaques are square.
it. Yeah,
Oh, but you're saying, yeah,
I
yeah.
don't see any.
Let's see,
Which line are you on?
I'm looking at, whichever one did I got here. This one is, lot one, okay, so they're not
Not others.
shown, so maybe they're on lot two. I'm looking at the, lot one, okay, that's still lot one. On lot two,
At the limit of the bottom of the slope.
So they're on the plan for lot two, the last sheets, 404.
we have the- okay, all right. Okay,
But for the,
It should be on all the sheets.
yeah, there's, the ones on lot one are on the lot one sheet, and ones on lot two are on the lot, they don't overlap, is what I'm, yeah, they're-
and I didn't see any on the basins, around the basin.
That's what I mean, there's none, they were there at one time.
Okay. They
I'll
just,
add those.
I think at one plan there were trees there. It looked like there were trees.
all right, so you're gonna, are there some missing, is that what you're saying, Lana?
On the, they were on there before, but
Should be some
some-
of
So
them.
we have them here, at the limit of work, at the edge of the base.
Okay,
So
What-
they-
well, they're on that sheet? Oh, they're not,
They were on
No,
there,
they disappeared.
they were on a written,
okay,
That's the access driveway.
so, right, I don't think they're on there
No, they're not.
They're not on-
There's
anymore. Right.
trees there, so. There's trees, So,
So I think what happened is, I don't know if you remember, but we had this basin up closer to the
Yep.
property line, and the abutter came and sort of didn't like that, so we slid it down, and the board voted to allow us to be less than
yeah,
25
well,
feet.
just need to be added.
And we talked about putting the plaques at the limit of work, which is the bottom of the slope.
All right, well, so they need to be added, this
Right,
is
they
on
need to be added.
sheet 4 of, lot 2.
They
there's,
should be,
Yeah, you've got them up here, but you don't have them down here. I'm saying they ought to be consistent.
no, I know, there aren't any on there. So they
it's
should,
not,
Yeah.
but there are now red maple and swamp white.
Oh, that's what you got there.
It's like, so where
Oh,
the
those are-
bounds used to be, they're now trees. I don't know if, does there supposed to be trees also?
no, unless you want us, you want trees.
No, so this is what your plan is showing. Your plan is showing red maple and swamp white maple.
Because it's kind of gonna get wiped out in here, so.
Okay, so that was, I guess my question was that intentional too?
The trees were intentional.
Okay, all right, so the
But
plaques just need to be
there were
added.
plaques there at one
There
time,
we go.
and we've seen it, but.
I didn't know if the plaques sort of became trees
No,
by
no,
accident during the drafting
I think you
process.
want both, actually,
Yes.
because it's gonna get, to build that berm,
Yes.
it's gonna get wiped out, and then.
No, the trees are
if you
nice.
wanna put some trees there.
Yeah. No, I just was wondering if it was like someone hit the wrong button or something. Hit the tree button rather than the
No,
flag button.
I think what happened though is
Tree button.
sort of moving the basin down some of the plaques.
You're gonna correct the drawings so that, there you go, okay.
Good plaques,
Anyone in the audience have any questions or comments, please identify yourself for the record. Okay, hearing none, someone make a motion to close the hearings.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
What do we got? 600?
Yep.
So we need to do, I'm gonna order. We're gonna do lots 1 and lot 2 separately. And we have, how many,
We have a land disturbance permit for the subdivision and an order of conditions for the subdivision, and then a order of conditions each for
for
lot
each
1
lot,
and 2.
so we have 4 orders to write.
The orders are on the-
Well, it's still an order, yeah. 4 documents. Okay, so we'll start with the land disturbance permit, I guess. What have you got any order that you've got things set up with?
So the land disturbance permit would probably just be the basic conditions. And then I have for the order of conditions for the Winter Estates subdivision, I have what's in my report, recommended conditions.
And, all right, so for the land disturbance, we'll do one at a time. The land disturbance, was there anything to be added to the standard?
I just usually, just add compliance with the order of conditions.
Or
if there's
add to, okay, just comply with the order of conditions for the subdivision and lots 1 and 2? Do them all? Okay. All right, so that take care of the land disturbance permit. Someone make that a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
600. Now we have subdivision. And that we have the conditions that you recommended here, right? And anything else? Anybody have anything else? Not, so we make that a motion
So
to,
moved.
Second.
okay, and all in favor?
Aye.
So we're gonna have 4 of these to sign,
Yeah.
right?
Yep,
Let's make sure we get 4.
I believe 8, because you signed 2 things.
Oh, that's right.
Right here, Scranton.
I'm gonna charge extra for this.
You'll get a bonus
Thank you. I hope so.
at the end of the year.
I'm counting on it.
We're
This is
gonna
the-
refill your pen with ink.
subdivision.
We'll pump it
Thank
back
you.
in there.
Appreciate that. I need lots of ink.
And now we have the order for lot 1.
And they're probably similar for lot 1 and 2, right?
Yeah, the recommended conditions are the same for both.
Okay. Does anybody have anything else to add to this? Okay, so we'll make that a motion for lot 1.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
600. And the conditions for lot 2. Anything to add? Okay, someone make that a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
600. Thank you, John. Did I do the second one or not?
Thank you, John.
Thank you. And thanks, Nancy. I'll get you tomorrow.
Switch pens for the short notice.
So 2 more meetings, huh?
Yeah. You're doing the count.
I know.
Yeah. Can't
Too
wait.
many orders to sign.
Such a pain.
No, I got one.
All right.
So that's
Roger Turner.
these.
This is Roger.
Okay, here's the
I don't have any
winter.
new comments, just the plans and
I don't think we have the Roger Turner, anything from Roger Turner Trail.
It was in the
Was-
package I had.
Except I think that got shifted over to Jack.
Town of Walpole, Commonwealth of Massachusetts Conservation Commission notice of intent,
Here it is.
land disturbance permit in accordance with Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 131, Section 40, the Wetlands Protection Act, Walpole Wetlands Protection Bylaw, and Stormwater and Erosion Control Bylaw. Notice hereby given the intent of public hearing for the intent Jeff Robinson to construct proposed Roger Turner Trail subdivision with roadway, associated grading, utilities, stormwater management, located at 397 Elm Street, within 100 feet of bordering vegetated wetlands and an unnamed stream. Applications of plans can be viewed at Town Hall Room 212, 135 School Street, or at www.walpole-ma.gov/conservation. Public hearing. The above matter will be held in person January 22nd, 2025, beginning 7:25 PM, Town Hall, FinCom Room 135, School Street. All interested persons request to be present. Hearing's been opened and continued. And we don't have anything else to read in? Roger Turner. These separate? These all? Okay. Representing the applicant?
Good evening, Rick Goodrow with United Consultants. I'm here this evening with Tom DePlacido, one of the owners of the project. As the commission may recall, we were here at one of your previous meetings for an initial public hearing, and at that time, we had agreed to have a site walk with the commission's agent. The site walk revealed two things that we had come up with. First, we had shown some driveway area here as previously disturbed. Landis was kind enough to send us some pictures, and what we've done is converted that from previously disturbed prior to 1996 to currently disturbed, date unknown. Additionally, at the sidewalk, we entered down in the tennis court area, and it was suggested that we propose to remove the three-sided retaining wall and the fencing on top of the wall and regrade the area. So we've done that as well. So those are some of the changes that have been made to the project plans as a result of the site walk. We also have provided the commission with a revised set of plans that address all of the comments that were brought up from the Conservation Commission, the agent, and the fire department, planning board, et cetera. We are before the planning board as well for this project. We did receive a letter, an email from Landis outlining 4 items that she was looking for. All seem to be very reasonable and pretty easy to address. I can go through them if you'd like, and basically indicate how we were planning to address them. The first comment that Landis had was on sheet 8, notes 1 and 2. She was requesting more detail as to how areas not worked for 7 days and temporarily stabilized, with what methods. The applicant would be proposing to use stump grindings that would be generated from the site to stabilize those areas, or if appropriate, to lumen seed those areas. So we've added that note to number 2, and we've kind of just updated this so you can see where these notes would be added. Additionally, Landis had requested that a note be added stating, basins and swales will be as-built upon final grade and provided to the commission and town engineer for review. So we've added that note here, also highlighted in red to show where those 2 are. And number 3, Landis had requested additional information on the demolition of the existing buildings. The applicant owner has put together a more robust demolition plan, which I can read into the record. Number 1 states.
Okay.
remove-
Can you get the microphone, please?
Oh, sure.
Sorry.
No problem.
And actually, just to be sure, what number plan are you on? You want 8?
I am, but none of these changes that I've shown in red are reflected on the plans you have. We just got the email from Landis yesterday, which she just got the plans from us last week. So this has happened. We just wanted to show the commission, you know, where those note changes would be made. And then Landis had requested that we provide a more robust demolition protocol for the house, the garage, and the outbuildings. So I could read that into the record. Number 1, remove all utilities from the house, electric, gas, oil, cable, telephone, etc. Number 2, after all utility removal is verified, commence the removal of any asbestos, and once completed, notify the building inspector. Number 3, deliver dumpsters to the site, remove windows by hand, doors, or anything with glass in it from the building and dispose of them in the dumpsters. Number 4, verify houses unoccupied and commence the demolition by excavator that has a bucket with a thumb. Dumpsters will be on site so that debris is immediately disposed of. There will be no loose debris or scrap remaining on site overnight. Number 5, after all buildings are removed and disposed of, then any foundations will be filled. And then number 6, once foundations are filled, the site will be graded and blended into the surrounding land. If necessary, stump grindings will be used for stabilization. So that note has not been added to the plan as of yet, but we certainly will have that note added. And then lastly, Landis had asked for some landscaping areas that we had identified as being 8,700 plus square feet and 1,400 plus square feet to be identified. We did hatch them out on the plans on, I believe, sheet 5. But what I've done is just added another viewport to sheet number 7 and carried over the planting schedule for both the street trees as well as the ground cover for this area. And then I put a green line and a hatched out area as to where those 2 areas are, where the landscaping would be, to hopefully clarify that. That hatched out area is on sheet 5, but it's black and kind of blends in. And I also removed the proposed contours from this, so I think it's a little clearer. So,
A landscape architect plan.
no,
Restoration.
For the restoration of the roof. I can't really see the plan from here, but. So you're blocking out the areas, and you have a chart that shows the species and the amounts of what you're planting?
correct. So we had that on sheet 5 of the plan set as well. We're basically proposing to plant 1 shrub for every 100 square feet of disturbance area. And we've provided a list of hazelnut, high bush, blueberry, witch hazel, and sweet pepper bush. And then the area to be covered and seeded with a New England Conservation and Wildlife mix.
So what trees are you planting?
So the tree planting is for the street trees for the planning
You're
board.
not putting back any trees,
We did not propose any tree plantings.
but you're cutting trees.
We are.
I'll let the commissioners speak to that. I think you're, the way I understand is the purpose of cutting the undisturbed riverfront area is to meet the grades of the driveway,
Correct,
correct?
yes.
And then you're doing these replantings to re-stabilize it, basically. and
Correct.
naturalize it. So you're not planting any trees.
We didn't propose any. If the commission would like to see some trees, I don't see that as an issue.
I'll let them speak on that one. I think since you're taking trees down, you might want to plant some trees. Okay, well, he's already gone through my comments to you guys, so.
Sorry to steal your thunder.
No, that's okay, that's why I send them ahead of time, so I don't just.
It was helpful.
For you guys,
It was helpful.
yeah. I didn't- Yeah, so just to reiterate what was said earlier, I did go and walk the site, and it just seemed like some of the driveway area looked a little fresher than 1996. So I went and I looked at the aerials and sent them the aerials as well. And you could see a change from 2016, when it looked like it was just like a one-car driveway, to April 2024, when it got widened quite a bit. So because of that, because it happened after 1996, it wouldn't be considered degraded riverfront area, it would be considered an alteration. But I think all in all, their numbers of work in the riverfront area is below the 10%. In my report, I called out the riverfront area to be altered and then restored is 7,215. The degraded riverfront area to be developed is 2,235. Undisturbed riverfront area to be developed, 1,378. So the total developed riverfront area is 3,611, which is below the 10% of the 5,000 square feet. The total riverfront area on site they had is 98,860. So take a little here, a little there, move things around to make the numbers work, but I think they met the regulations as far as it's just the quality of the restoration, I think is what's.
And I do have that list for the protocol that Tom had put together for you. That's the demolition protocol updated.
And then for the house lots, you'll come in for separate notice of intents for those.
Correct. There'll be individual notices of intent for the house lots.
Okay. Okay. Bailey?
No comments. I do agree with Landis about considering adding some trees, though. That'd be nice.
Doug?
No questions.
Media?
Also.
Al?
Well, I agree with Landis. I want to see trees planted. And I'm not sure where, but I think if we cut down trees, we should be replacing them. In this particular time of climate change, they're telling us that trees are a good thing and we need them, so I don't like the idea of cutting all the trees and then not replacing some of them.
Okay, Betsy?
Yeah, two questions. One's actually for Landis. So you don't actually have these plans yet?
Right, so the comments I have in my report that I went over, I sent them, so they haven't revised.
So how much time do you need to see these plans? I mean, that are, I mean, he read aloud from some things, but,
How long do?
Well, I don't know, I assume he's gonna hand over some plans tonight so that you can have a
Oh,
look
I
at
don't
what
know.
he's written.
No, I don't think you have them for tonight, no.
We don't, no, we just, I mean, there were really 2 additional notes that were added to the plans, and the protocol that we just provided you will be added to the final plans. And then lastly, we wanted to identify the landscape area and what we had done. There seemed to be some confusion there, but what I think I'm hearing is the commission's, in favor of there being some trees added to the planting plan,
Right,
which
it's
is,
more of a restoration of the riverfront
Correct.
rather than landscaping for a development. So it's restoration of the riverfront. And,
Correct.
So when are you expecting to do your demolition, approximately? Do you have some kind of a target date?
For the record, Tom DePlacido. It depends on planning board approval and things. We would hope to have it sometime in the late spring.
Oh, okay. Yep, thanks. That's it, okay.
And, sorry, just to answer your question, honestly, I'd rather see a landscape plan, so a plan done by a,
Or a restoration plan, yeah.
well, I say landscape plan, meaning you see a plan done by a landscape architect.
Yeah, okay.
It actually shows the area and the circles of the trees and the shrubs and where they're going, so
Yeah.
that you actually have a plan of the restoration area. Just like with the replication area, that for the last project, we wanted that shown where the plants are going and that the whole area is covered nicely, rather than just a chart. Sorry, Jack.
Okay. Anyone in the audience have any questions or comments? Please identify yourself for the record. Hearing none. You satisfied that they can make the changes so we can close the hearing? Or do we want to get you want to see the file?
How long, so, okay, are you willing to put it together, a landscape plan? You know what I mean when I say landscape plan?
yes,
Yeah.
yep.
How
Yeah, we
how
can do
long do
that.
you think that would take?
Are you gonna give a landscape architect?
Yeah, we have to reach out to. I just had a question, like BSC Group had done the original wetlands delineation and things like that out here. I'm just wondering if it would be better to, just a preference, reach out to them to come up with some type of plan like that, planting plan, or would you prefer an actually landscape architect? I could do either one.
No, I think it can be some consultant who's familiar with wetlands and riverine restoration. It's just having a visual plan instead of a chart stuff, so where they're being spaced out and stuff as well. I guess why I ask is, well, the commission can do, if it's gonna take them a while, it may take them a little while to get someone to do the plan. You can close the hearing tonight, and you can put in the order of conditions that they provide the landscape plan before the pre-construction meeting.
And it has to be subject to some approval.
Right, subject to approval. I'd rather do it that way than hold the order until they get it back to
Okay.
us, because that just messes up the regulatory requirements to issue the order if it's sitting in the office for a long period of time.
As long as it's subject to approval, because we have seen
Right.
plans come back that
Right.
were not.
Right, so it would be an order, a condition that the landscape plan be subject to approval.
Is that all right with you?
That's fine.
Sometimes we just, they vote it and vote to close the hearing, vote to issue the order, and then we hold it until we get plans back. But sometimes that goes way too longer than I'm really comfortable with regulatory requirements of issuing orders.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's probably gonna be 2 or 3 weeks before I can bring a landscape architect in, have them brought up to speed and then put together a plan for it.
And the other changes, I think they've addressed pretty well, unless the commission has anything else that they're concerned with. So I'm comfortable with the closing and then we putting that condition in.
Okay. Does someone make a motion to close the hearing?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
600. Okay, so we've got, you have some conditions here.
Yep, so we have our basic conditions, and then, the number 4, when I say provide a landscape plan of areas to be vegetated, I'll just, also put that as to be approved by the Conservation Commission for the pre-construction.
Okay. That should take care of it?
Yeah, probably could have condition in regarding no more alteration of the riverfront area. Or no alteration of the restored riverfront area, that's usually condition DEP ones.
Okay, so you'll add that. Okay,
Anything else?
anything else? Does someone want to make that a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
600. Okay, thank you.
And then you're still before the planning board, right? So if they make changes, if they're minor, you just can come back requesting a minor modification. If they're considered major, then you'd have to amend the order.
Yes, we also had a land disturbance permit request.
And the land disturbance, yeah. So you want to just close the land disturbance permit and issue it as well?
Do we make that a separate, or is it included with the order?
Separate.
Okay, so we make a motion to close the land disturbance permit?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
600. And
Thank you.
whatever conditions are on that,
Right,
that'd be similar, referred to the order.
yes.
Okay, so we'll move that.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
600. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You too.
You too.
This is fun time here. You have somebody come to your house and get your signature on this School Street project?
No?
Right?
Just me.
Why?
I don't know.
Why would you?
Just an awareness that there's gonna be a meeting. Signing.
Oh, they came to your house?
Yeah.
Really? That's weird. I mean, we're not even close to.
Spending the time here in the fucking hall.
Apparently.
You live here?
Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
Do you want these? Town of Walpole, Commonwealth of Massachusetts, Conservation Commission Land Disturbance Permit in accordance with Stormwater and Erosion Control Bylaw. Notice is hereby given public hearing for the intent of Leslie Lincoln trustees, Davison Family Trust, to construct proposed Quail Run subdivision of 3 single-family dwellings and proposed roadway with associated grading, utilities, and stormwater management located at 1263-1271 Washington Street, altering 40,000 square feet or more of land. The applications and plans can be viewed at Town Hall, Room 212, 135 School Street, or at www.walpole-ma.gov/conservation. Public hearing in the above matter will be held in person on January 22nd, 2025, beginning 7:30 PM. Town Hall, FinCom Room, 135 School Street. All interested persons request to be present. Hearing's been opened and continued. When's this dated?
So they've requested, I apologize, they, via email, they had, Dan American of Legacy Engineering had requested a continuance to March 12th.
Okay,
So on March 12th, we have two hearings, the continuance for the amendment of Optima Hotel, and we have also the continuance for the amendment to Burns Ave.
okay. So what time is available?
So why don't we put it in at 7:21? We don't have the specific times listed, so
Oh, we
Make
don't
it
have
safe.
times for the others?
we do, but we don't have them, we forgot to put them
Oh,
on any of our papers. So I'm thinking probably 7:21.
Might
Being
fit?
safe enough, because it's definitely not continued to 7:21.
So we'll
If
make that a
that's
motion?
okay.
So moved.
We got a second?
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So, continued to 7:21 on March 12th.
Yes.
Okay. So what else we got? Okay. Town of Walpole, Commonwealth of Massachusetts Conservation Commission Notice of Intent in accordance with Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40 of the Wetlands Protection Act, Walpole Wetlands Protection Bylaw notes hereby given the intent of Town of Walpole to construct proposed stormwater management improvements located at the Jarvis Farm, 691 Common Street, map 48, lot 11, within the 100-foot buffer zone of wetlands. Application and plans may be viewed at the Conservation Commission office, room 212, 135 School Street, or at www.walpole-ma.gov/Conservation Commission. Public hearing on the above matter will be held in person at the Walpole Town Hall, FinCom Room, 135 School Street, February 26, 7:25, at 7:35 PM. All interested persons request to be present. Okay. Okay, Board of Health at its February 8th meeting voted unanimously that they have no comments at this time. I guess that's it.
Yeah, we don't have anything else. I would note that the town engineer and I have been working on this project together. And we've been-
Okay. And representing the applicant?
Mike Carter from GCG Associates, and the applicant is the town.
Okay.
What I can do is probably sheet 4 is the best sheet to look at. So the project's on your recreational area up in Jarvis Farm, next to the town forest, right near the pond. Basically, so if you look at on sheet 4, the pond is down here on the bottom of the street, Common Street's up in here, and then you come in a gravel road, if you're familiar with it, which probably a lot of you are, if not everybody. You come in a gravel road that comes down and goes in here like this, with a pond right down here. You've probably seen it in the past, there's some significant erosion that happened a long time, no, not that long ago. We had a lot of runoff. So what the town is doing is, this is a stormwater improvement project that they're trying to protect the pond, capture some of the runoff from the gravel road and try to treat it stormwater-wise and then let it flow back into the pond. Right now, the way the road is gravelled and graded, it kind of flows down here and then it goes right into the pond and causes that significant erosion you saw. So what we're proposing to do, first let me go over the resource areas. This blue area is a BVW. down the yellow line right here, this is Morningside Drive right here. There's a drainage system that, when Morningside Drive was built, created a drainage ditch down through here and then continued along here. It's well-defined in this area. Down in this area, it's not a well-defined ditch. It's kind of flat and the water spreads out. And then there's a existing 8-inch PVC pipe that goes underneath the gravel drive. It's about 10 inches deep. It's really shallow. If you go look at it today, it's got a lot of silt. Basically, a lot of the gravel comes down and goes into there. So what we're trying to do is prevent that from happening. We're going to regrade, and then first we're going to replace this 8-inch drain with an 8-inch ductile iron pipe. Because it's so shallow, you shouldn't really have a PVC pipe in there. If you have a heavy truck that goes in there, it could collapse it. But so we're going to replace it with a ductile iron, same location, same grade, same ends, not extending it or shrinking it. And we're going to just armor the slope here with some riprap. That's what the little hatched area, just to try to prevent the siltation from running into the stream. And then from that point, the shaded driveway, this gray shaded driveway on your plan, that's where we're going to regrade the road. We're going to grade the road so it's super elevated, so the water will come down here. It won't flow this way. It'll kind of follow this gutter line. And then we're creating a stormwater basin right here, a rain garden bioretention area. There'll be a couple small forebays right here. They're the little circles that you see. That'll be rip-wrapped. So the water will flow down here in this gutter line, not this way, go into this stormwater basin, rain garden, bioretention area. And then there's a pipe there's already an existing pipe that goes across. We're going to remove that and put in a new one. We're putting in soil material down here which will promote growth, vegetating the wetland resource. It's really kind of wet right down in here. We went out with Landis and your town engineer, Carl. We dug some test holes out here to figure out the soils. And so this is a perfect spot to grab it. And then what it'll do is it'll overflow into a level spreader swale here. So that'll spread the water out. So it will be channelized, not hopefully, it will not cause what you had before. We have that big channel being washed out. That's the big scope of the project. If you're familiar with it, these two big squares you see right here on the plan, those are the power lines, so that'll kind of maybe help you orientate yourself. This is a grass area right here, right now, so we're not cutting anything or disturbing anything. That's kind of the scope of the project.
Thank you. Landis?
Yep, so just a little history, if you guys didn't remember. So this was one of the sites that was chosen through the Green Infrastructure Survey that was done by Fuss and O'Neill under the MVP Action Grant that we received in 2019, I think. There were several sites throughout the town that could use some upgrade in water quality, so it's a water quality component to this site to collect the stormwater and also to prevent the erosion that's been occurring. So we received grant from the Blackburn and Union site to improve groundwater. And the 3 sites that we chose was Jarvis Farm, DPW, and Town Hall. So this site, along with the DPW site, the grant included the design plans and permitting and construction. Town Hall just includes design plans and permitting. We hope to fund that as well. So it's a good thing. It's an improvement of an area that doesn't have any kind of stormwater management at all right now. So hopefully that's it.
Okay. Bailey?
No questions, so great.
Doug?
No questions.
Emilio? Al?
Sounds like a good thing.
Betsy?
Yep, I agree. I hadn't realized that pond had a name, Charles A. Hirschman Memorial Pond. How did that happen?
Well, that's the name of the guy that owns
I
it.
have no idea.
Day camp there.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
That's quite a name for a pond. Okay.
Okay.
And just one more thing. So this will be a simply planted bioretention area so that it'll be easier to be maintained by the town. that rain gardens tend to have a lot more species and flowers and plants, and be more of a decorative as well as functioning stormwater management system. This'll have a less complex planting, so it's easier to maintain.
Okay. No one in the audience, so we will close the hearing. Someone make a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
6-0. And anything particular in the order, Landis, or just a standard?
Just standard, and we'll just reference the O&M plan.
There is a separate O&M plan that has been drawn up.
Operation maintenance plan. Fire protection area.
That's already been drawn up. Okay. Someone make a motion, write the order?
Sorry. What do you,
Motion to write the order.
So moved.
second?
All in favor?
Aye.
6-0. Thank you. You're not leaving, you must have something else.
Yes, he's here for the next one.
No, I haven't seen a plan.
Well, we don't.
What's this one?
He has the file.
This an extra?
We can work on with Jack.
What's this one?
If Jack's got a really big plan, we can work on it.
There's two of them here.
Oh, you got two?
Is this the one we're
So
looking for?
Al's missing a plan, so we can have ours.
Must be. I don't see a name on it, where is it?
Oh, this has gotta be it, yeah.
Stormwater improvement.
Okay, so this is,
Total Walpole, Commonwealth, Massachusetts Conservation Commission notice of intent in accordance with Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40, Wetlands Protection Act. And Walpole Wetlands Protection Bylaw. Notice by giving the intent of the town of Walpole to construct proposed stormwater management improvements located at the Town Hall parking lot, 135 School Street, map 33, lot 38, within the 100-foot buffer zone of wetlands. Application and plans may be viewed at the Conservation Commission Office, Room 212, 135 School Street, Walpole, Mass, or www.walpole-ma.gov/Conservation Commission. Public hearing on the above matter will be held in person at the Walpole Town Hall, FinCom Room, 135 School Street, February 26, 2025, 7:40 PM. All interested person requested to be present. Okay, so, nothing here to read in either?
No.
Okay. Representing the applicants?
Is Mike Carter, GCG Associates. Again, the applicant here is the town. This project is another, as Landis indicated, another stormwater improvement project. It's, the project's really close. If you look out the window, it's right behind me. So right now, the drainage for the half of the building and this whole parking lot here flows that way through a series of pipes under the ground and discharges right into the stream, the brook out there directly. So the town wants to try to improve the treatment. The gutters that are on this inside area, the building area, also drain right in there directly. So with Carl and Landis, the town engineer and Landis, we looked at trying to, how can we treat the stormwater? We went through a couple versions, and we came up with the one that's with you here before you tonight. Basically, in the big picture, what we're trying to do is treat the runoff before it gets to the stream, and remove 90% TSS and 90% phosphorus, actually. And we have two different components of the project that are on the plans. But the big thing that I want to point out, there's a big tree down there that you probably all know, it's about 48 inches in diameter. We're not touching that. What we did is we took the canopy of it, we drew a circle from the canopy and to make sure none of our work was occurring inside the canopy of the tree from aerial mappings. So there's two different treatment devices we have. The one that's on the top of the right side of your sheet, these little squares, that is going to be an underground infiltration system. Basically, if you recall, in the corner of the parking lot over here, I keep pointing outside because it's easy to do. Out back the corner, there's a catch basin there. We're going to remove that, put in a conventional 4-foot sump. It's an older catch basin that's been there as long as this building has been here. And then we're going to connect from that catch basin and put this underground chambers in that will infiltrate the stormwater. There's basically 3/4 of the parking lot flows to that. So we're capturing basically, here's the building right here. We're capturing all of this area into this catch basin, and then it goes into here and gets treated. There's a drain line that goes out to the stream here, which this will connect to. And during certain storm events, it'll flow out. Smaller events, all the water will be recharged. That's one form of treatment before it gets discharged to here, so that takes care of the parking lot. There's a pipe that goes underground from basically the corner here to a catch basin that's kind of on the edge of the drip line of the tree, and then it flows in that same drain line out. So that catch basin actually picks up all the roof runoff and some of this parking area right behind you. Kind of weird saying this. Normally have this as a presentation of it. So what we're going to do on this line, we're going to put in a storm scepter to treat that water, and then provide pre-treatment to that stormwater runoff, and then that will also go into this infiltration chamber. And then that infiltration chamber will overflow back into the pipe that goes out to the thing. So we're cutting it off, that pipe, and abandoning it, and we're kind of putting it in here, and then it comes out of here and goes back into the stream. So it's everything in the parking lot. We're treating the roof runoff because otherwise we'd have to tear up the parking lot and separate it all. It's all going into that infiltration chamber and being treated, and goes back out into the stream through a pipe that's located here. So that's part one. Then here's the tree. Then out near School Street, there's this small drainage area along the side of the building. What we're proposing to do is there's a catch basin just near the entrance. We're going to do a very similar thing. We're going to grab the stormwater that goes into that catch basin from the small paved area. We're going to put in a bioretention rain garden in this area. So that water will go into a catch basin, flow into this. It's a small depression. It's not large. It's 2 feet deep, to be honest with you. And that will have all kinds of plantings in it. It actually will probably serve as a good example of a bioretention area that people could see coming in and could be educated that way what it is. You won't see this one because it'll be underground, because the reason for the underground one is, I didn't mention, is because the soccer fields are there and having kids run into the soccer fields and the holes and other. So this would treat the water, then it'll overflow into a structure and go into the existing pipe that goes out to the stream. So there's 2 pipes that go out there from here, and we're going to capture the water, put them into some sort of stormwater treatment, and then let it go back into the pipe that goes out to the stream. So that's the overall big picture of the project. So resource areas that we're in, I didn't mention that. We have a riverfront area, so all the work is inside the 200-foot, the yellow line is the 200-foot riverfront. The pink line is the 100-foot, so you can see that this one is inside the 100 to 200. This one's inside the, it's not the 25, but it's about 45 to 100, this area in here. It's obviously all degraded, degraded well before 1995, 96. Nothing inside the 25-foot alteration area. And then there is a floodplain here. It's elevation 139.5. If you look on the plan, you'll see we've actually identified the contour. We are not inside the floodplain. All the work is outside the floodplain.
Okay. Landis, what would you like to add?
Just again, this is taking a site that currently doesn't have any stormwater management for water quality and putting in a subsurface system and a rain garden for a water quality component. The area where the rain garden is proposed is a depression where it also erodes a lot as you're driving into Town Hall near the cannon. So designing a rain garden there, which will look aesthetically pleasing, but will also be some educational component for people. The grant also included educational signs, so we'll put some kind of sign up that describes what it is and why it's there and how it's functioning.
Bailey?
I'd love it. I wish there was some inclusion of the front, because that area gets real flooded sometimes. I don't know if anyone's experienced that, but that's my only comment, but this is great. Take what we can get.
Yeah, the front of Town Hall does traditionally flood. It's been a little bit better since they did some cleaning out of pipes and stuff like that. Just as an aside, which is a interesting, exciting thing, is Patrick DeShane's, the Economic Development Director, and I talked to the Conway School, and they are going to be doing a plan with their students of the Memorial Pond side, so the area where currently the dock area is, and there's some educational signs there, and there is some flooding and stormwater issues on that side, and they're gonna look at that portion, and then the current trail that goes along the river and the bridge, and just kind of put together a comprehensive plan for all these areas that we've been kind of doing piecemeal thing for. So that it'll be exciting to see what they come up with. They'll do some, public hearing interactions as well to get people involved in ideas.
Awesome.
That's to come.
Thank you.
Doug?
No questions?
Medio?
No, looks good. The excavation for this infiltration, will that be in off the lot, like on the dirt area?
It'll be the grass area.
In the grass area,
It's what- The guardrail that's down there, it's just on the other side of the
Other
grass
side of it.
area.
Okay.
And actually, we're extending the guardrail about 25 feet in one direction, just for safety purposes.
Okay, thank you.
Al?
Glad to see it.
That's it?
Yep, no comments.
Okay, I was wondering if it did anything to improve the situation on School Street. Get a heavy rain.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of a situation of the watershed and the low area and kind of a whole nother issue. But part of the parking lot on the Memorial Pond side, where when it rains really hard, water comes rushing down from the park, the baseball diamond, and cuts a gully that goes right into the pond. That's gonna be looked at under that project, so hopefully we can do something about it, that side.
Okay, so you're slowing down the rate of flow into the stream out here? With the.
Yeah, during the smaller events, actually, because right now it just goes, it goes in the catch basin, goes right out there. So now it's gonna go to this infiltration basin or the rain garden. Smaller events will be slower. The larger events will be what they are. But it's definitely slowing. You don't have anything there right now, so if you think about it, we're infiltrating quite a bit. The small 2-year event won't be probably any discharge.
So it should help as far as what winds up and how quickly it gets into the Neponset.
Oh, yeah, it'll make, it's a significant change compared to what you have right now.
Okay. Good. Nobody in the audience, so someone make a motion to close the hearing?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
600. And we have the order. Anything specific besides our standard order?
Nothing specific.
Okay, okay. All right, does someone want to make a motion for the order as
So
will be
moved.
written?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
600.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
You're,
Have a good night.
Thank you, you too. In Wilmington? They're in Wilmington. I was wondering where their office was. Okay. So, Bird Middle School,
thank you.
what is the situation there?
Yeah, so the next thing on the agenda is just a request for a discussion on some changes at the Bird Middle School. And I thought someone would come in for this, but.
I do,
What?
he's right there.
So there's a memo from Nitch in front of you that they're proposing some changes to the area along East Street.
Let's see.
They're adding some additional impervious surface for a walkway.
And fields.
The fields are there.
Well, it says the impervious area comprised of fields and pedestrian pavement. So I was like, what are they doing, putting down astroturf or something? Okay, well, why are the fields why are they calling the fields impervious?
I think they just.
Just
they're
the areas, but
currently impervious as well.
I think the areas in blue, Betsy.
Okay.
But-
Additional impervious area comprised of fields and pedestrian. 63,000 additional.
So these were unplanned?
I guess so, that's what I mean, but
That's all.
I
I expected someone to be here
Well,
to
that's-
present it, so.
Well, then
I
let's
can
wait
only
till the next meeting when they're here, because honestly, I'm not sure. It seems like a huge area, I mean,
They
That
knew they were
there's
gonna
some-
put fields there.
I'm sorry, what?
They knew they were gonna put fields in, so this is unplanned?
There are fields there.
Right, so why are they saying additional, like they didn't know they were gonna do it?
Do not know.
Right. No,
Okay.
I know,
so let's wait until they come, because honestly, I don't think they've given us enough information here.
Right, no, I thought they were gonna be here, so,
Okay.
well, I'll notify them. Maybe there was just miscommunication about them being on the agenda tonight, but we will put them on the agenda for March.
like they knew that
Well,
walkway was
22nd.
planned.
No,
they
just
knew
kidding.
that, so
Just
why is
kidding.
this
No,
all
just kidding.
that
Just
additional,
March 12th is
you know?
fine.
My
I
understanding
know,
was there was
just
just improvements to the
rhetorical
front,
question.
the front on East Street. I can see how the second plan is confusing.
Well, especially since they were planning a school that used to have playing fields there,
Right.
so it's not a big surprise, unless there's something different about these playing fields.
It
No,
might
they're
be,
there.
maybe, but
But they don't say astroturf on them.
I don't think they were planning on a, artificial turf field.
Okay. All right, to be continued.
Okay?
okay.
Because to build artificial turf fields, they'd have to do a lot of excavation and drainage.
I don't recall that there was anything about artificial.
They planted a bunch of grass there too, I saw, I don't know if it's artificial.
So, okay, so that will be, continue. This is not anything formal, and you'll just take care of that. Or or get some explanation about what they're doing?
Yeah, I would hope someone would come and explain the
Okay.
proposal.
Okay. Minutes, what have we got for minutes? We had December 11, was it? Someone want to make a motion for the December 11th minutes?
We don't have them printed, I got them online, so I assume
Well,
that,
they've been sent out.
yeah, they were
Yeah.
sent out online.
So, um,
So Al, did you get them?
No,
okay, who was here? Everybody was here. So
Yeah.
someone want to move the minutes from December
I'll move
11th?
'em. I'll move 'em.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
Was that a second? Medium?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. Any questions, comments, discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
600. And then we had June 12th. Okay, June 12th. Let's see, everybody was here. Someone want to move those? They were also sent out online.
I'll move them.
Okay. Do we have a second?
Second?
A medium, okay. Any comments? No hearing, no comments, all in favor?
Aye.
600. Okay, so those, what else we got here?
You have a certificate of, request for certificate of
Oh,
compliance.
Is that ready
Um,
for Mr. Carter?
For what?
For Mr. Carter?
For Mr. Carter, yes. This is an old order of conditions that it's just cleaning up his title. Everything is fine.
It's fine. Yeah, I think they said this goes back to 1985 or something like
Yeah,
that.
315-90, so yeah, at the very beginning.
It hasn't been picked up by any lawyer looking
No.
at
It was not.
his until recently. So they suggested that he get it straightened out. So, someone make a motion to issue a certificate of compliance for,
so moved.
Second.
okay, all in favor?
Aye.
But, by the way, with the Bird Middle School, it was my mistake, because I'm going back and looking at her email, and she said March 12th, so.
Oh, okay.
You fired.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Early retirement.
Yeah.
Okay.
I should have told her that if she was clairvoyant, she would have known to be here.
I was surprised. I mean, Nitch is very good, so. My mistake, sorry. I was being efficient.
Yep.
Gonna get to the next agenda.
Yeah, for next meeting's agenda's all taken care of. Ross Common is not ready yet, you said?
Right, they have some plantings to do that they should be done in spring planting season, so that's on hold.
Okay. Turner Pond, the conservation property, anything separate, or is that Turner Pond?
Conservation property is just generally on our agenda in case we have something we need to discuss. Still waiting for, well, because of the cold and the snow and everything, they hadn't continued up at North Street. Hopefully they'll be able to go in there and finish up before they're out working on fields and everything.
Okay, and Turner Pond?
And Turner Pond, so I had, talked about, just material last time.
Yeah.
About, changing the treatment of Turner Pond from dicot to sonar, which they can do a treatment that could last 2 or 3 years rather than just one, and it would encompass a larger area, but it would cost more money. So there is funding that I could apply to them treating with sonar this season. It would be this season's funding and next season's funding. So that would, the treatment company, Water and Wetlands, thought that that would be better treatment for the pond.
So there would be one treatment with the sonar, and that would take care of 2 years?
2 seasons.
Okay.
If we can afford it, I would approve
Yeah.
of that, because that worked for me before.
Okay. Their report did say that there are other things that are there. Sonar would be better because what's the term they use anyhow, that you wouldn't have to do it next year, but there are other things there that, should we look at doing sonar this year, and then the dicot that they're using for the other, to take care of, just so we don't lose, we've made a lot of progress there, but I'm just wondering whether it would be beneficial to use the herbicide, I guess it is, the other.
So something is not gonna be caught by the sonar treatment? Is that what you said?
Yeah,
Like what?
just that, whether it would improve the control situation if we also did a treatment.
They weren't
Instead of skipping.
recommending that. I was under the impression as the sonar would treat for,
They said 2 to 3 years. I don't, you want to stretch it for 3, but.
right, and we wouldn't have to, because by then we would be looking to request additional funding. So right now I have fundings up through 2026.
I just wondering whether it would be, if it would be any better to also treat next year, use sonar this year, and then the other herbicide.
Yeah, I think,
next year.
so I had a back and forth with LaCasse on some different questions. I don't think they wouldn't do anything for 2026. I think they'd still go out and monitor the pond, and if there's something else that needs to be treated, they would probably put together a recommendation like they do every year.
Okay, would we have money to do that?
Perhaps, because there, I say perhaps because there is some funding that was earmarked for Clark's Pond, so it's possible that it could be, I'd have to talk to Jody if it could be used for Turner's. if
Oh, I
we
was
needed
gonna
it.
ask about Clark's Pond. So Clark's Pond also has its issues.
It's, well, that's also being treated, right? But
It
it's
is
used,
being
but not
Yeah, we
with the
wanna take,
sonar.
okay, let's be careful with taking money
No, I'm
away
not
from
talking
Clark's.
about taking it away.
Okay,
So right now, what we did, the last time I requested capital budget, it was for 3 years, and that was so it ends 26, so it was 23, 24, no, 24, 25, and 26 for Memorial Pond, Clark's Pond, and Turner's Pond.
Okay.
So that money is there. Then there was funding that had been appropriated through capital budget for Clark's and Turner's that hadn't been used, so it's
Oh.
excess money. It's
Good.
not, we're not taking away from any other treatment that we already have contracts for. It's just little bits and pieces of end capital budget that have been hanging on, and so
Okay.
you could apply it to Turner's Pond, but there's also a little chunk, like 5,000, I think, that's in the name of Clark's Pond. And I think we probably could switch it to Turner's Pond
Okay.
if we
If you
needed it.
need it.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think that back and forth with with waters and wetlands, they would said, well, this is gonna make other nuisance or invasive species get worse. They never really said that, and I'm sure they probably would have if that was
Yeah.
gonna happen.
Well, they
so-
didn't mention in one that, one of the weeds
Yeah.
is showing resistance to
Right.
the herbicide treatment.
The dicot.
The dicot, I think, that's the, like an herbicide.
Well,
I'm just thinking, we've been treating now and spending the money,
Yeah,
that we should do what we need to do to maintain that,
yeah,
because
definitely,
it doesn't take much for it to go,
yeah.
to go back to the way things, the way they used to be with full of
So I'll
weeds.
just double check with him if we would need funding for other nuisance or invasive vegetation that was not being treated by the sonar.
Yeah, it sounded like it was gonna replace it for a couple of years.
For the milfoil and, I don't have it
forget.
on me, wrote it all out in the
Yeah,
question.
Does the DEP weigh in on this, the two different herbicides as to
they're approved.
preference? They're both approved,
Yeah.
but do they have any
I don't think so.
information on?
I do have information. I asked for the labels and all the information on the sonar, and it was a lot of information, so if you want, I can forward it to you.
I just wondered if they had if they favored one over the other, but
I don't think they do that. You apply for the permit for the chemical, and it's either approved or not. I
Yeah.
don't think they recommend. I've never had that, say that, so.
The other thing they mentioned was water chestnuts.
Yeah.
Are they removing water chestnuts as part of their program that they're
They
getting
did
paid for?
some, but I think they've suggested if you wanna organize, or they'll help organize a, volunteer event. So they did do some treatment.
Okay, because I know they mentioned for Memorial Pond, there was this, said a small area there, but we did several years ago at Clark's Pond, we did a number of canoes full
Yeah,
of
yeah.
water
hand
chestnuts,
pulling
so.
thing. It's a hand pulling thing. I
Yeah.
think they did some treatment, but it's just, you get as far as you can get, but the hand pulling is what's most effective.
Well, I guess you should put that on the agenda for probably next November, be a good time to pull it.
In November?
Can we not get
A
any
warmer-
volunteers?
When it's
Yeah.
warmer, a little warmer weather.
Is the fall the better time?
No, I think,
No, middle of the summer when
Middle-
they're starting to grow good.
yeah,
Oh,
I think it was probably July or August that
Yeah.
we did it before. So we should
Yeah.
not forget about it. If they're not doing it, then it would probably be,
Did Turner's Pond or Butters ever get involved with anything like that?
not that I know.
I don't know if we've ever asked them to, but I don't know if we have water chestnuts at Turner's Pond. I haven't seen that.
Oh, okay.
This is just Clark's Pond.
Just Clark's, okay.
And Memorial. They
Memorial.
mentioned there
Okay.
was,
Oh, okay.
there was a small batch.
They're in the same watershed.
So, okay, well, that's good.
So they must be all up in Diamond Pond. Yeah, it's probably a mess.
So if you take them out of Clark,
So
you
they're
take them out of
coming out-
Memorial Pond, but they're all in Diamond Pond in between your body.
Right.
Yeah,
It's a losing battle.
okay.
That's like multiple owners.
Yeah, I
And
know.
then I get calls about,
Well, Diamond Pond is not owned by us at all. No, it isn't.
no, it's like multiple
Yeah, it's
condo
three
owners
different,
and-
three different
yeah.
pieces.
So I have gotten calls, several calls about.
Oh, well, too bad. Not too bad. It's a sad
over the years.
situation.
Well, sometimes it seems like someone's willing to organize and
Oh.
saying, great, I'll help you with what, but it's a whole nother situation.
Anything else on there, anything new on,
No.
okay. Okay, guess that is it. Don't leave after we close the meeting.
I Okay, want to move to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Aye.
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 Okay, are we off?